Hey friends, and welcome to episode 7 of Honoring My Grandfather. If this is your first time here, I just want to personally welcome you to the HomeGrown Ministries YouTube channel. I'm DJ, and on this channel I strive to provide you with biblical wisdom and encouragement to strengthen your walk of faith. I don't have a consistent schedule for posting videos to YouTube, so if you like what you see here today and you don't want to miss anything in the future, please hit that subscribe button down below, click on the bell icon, and then YouTube will let you know the next time I post a video, because I don't know when that's going to be. That could be tomorrow, or that could be a month from now. I just don't know. Also, anything you do to support this channel helps get this message out to more and more people, helping everyone on this channel that's supporting it fulfill the Great Commission of Jesus Christ by sharing the good news with others. So anything you can do to support the channel is greatly appreciated. Now, I've been recently going through my grandfather's Bible. My grandfather passed away a little over a year ago, and in his Bible he has a bunch of sticky notes and highlights, and to honor him I like to just look at some of the things that he pointed out and talk about them, and also talk about how it relates to him. So today's passage that he highlighted comes from the book of Jeremiah. It's Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 5 through 8. This is his sticky note, if you can see it in his handwriting. I like to show you because it honors him. So I'm going to read that and then we're going to talk about it. So Jeremiah 17 verses 5 through 8 says, "This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who depends on flesh for his strength, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. He will be like a bush in the wastelands. He will not see prosperity when it comes. He will dwell in the parched places of the desert, in a salt land where no one lives. But blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. He will be like a tree planted by the water, that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought, and never fails to bear fruit." So this is really relevant today, right? You've got a lot of people who have abandoned God, who've walked away from God and put trust in man. And guess what? The coronavirus struck. And what that should prove to everyone is that your plans aren't for sure. Your plans are not set in stone. There are so many things outside of our control in the human realm that can disrupt our lives. There's so many things that can happen that are outside of our control. And they should scare you if you don't have a trust in God, because there's no relief from this. You look to man, you look to the leading experts of the day for something like the coronavirus, and there is no cure. There's no solution aside from stay inside and avoid others. That's scary stuff. And if you are not a Christian, it's very hard to weather that storm. If you're not someone that believes in God, and all you believe in is man, that's a very scary place to be, because man cannot give you the answers to some things. Honestly, the coronavirus should show you how little we actually know about anything. And you listen to the news, you listen to the experts, and they all disagree. And that's crazy. So if you're putting your trust in that, if you're putting your trust in man, you will always be disappointed, and you will never be prepared, because there's so many things that are outside of our control, that are unpredictable, that will ruin your life. So what you should do instead is put your trust in God. Jeremiah reminds us that the man who trusts in the Lord is blessed, because his confidence is not in himself. His confidence is not in man, but it's in God. Now, some people might take this out of context and say this is prosperity. This means if you trust in God, everything in your life will be good. But understand that this doesn't say that the man who trusts in God will not have suffering. It says, look at the middle of verse 8, this person does not fear when heat comes. So heat comes to wither all the plants in this passage. Heat is going to affect everything. It's going to bring the drought. It's going to harm plants. But what's it say? It says it has no worries in the year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. Because as a Christian, your trust is not in man. Your trust is not in your surroundings. Your trust is not in anything in this earth. Your trust is in God alone, the creator of the universe. So regardless of your circumstances, whether good, bad, or indifferent, you should be content in all things, as Paul tells us, because your faith, your trust is in God. And even in the bad times, even in the hard times, God will see you through it. It might not be the way you want to see it through. It might not be without suffering or persecution, but God will see you through it, and you will be blessed. A lot of times I look at people who are suffering from an illness, and you're praying for healing, and it's hard because you want to be healed. But the best news of the gospel is that if you believe in Jesus Christ, you will have everlasting life. So even if it's not in God's will to heal you on earth, at some point you will be perfectly healed. If it's not now, it will happen. And compared to the time that you will spend in eternity, your minor suffering on earth, even if you live to be 100, will be like the blink of an eye compared to eternity with God. So rest assured, friends, no matter what you're dealing with here on earth, suffering or injustice, all of that will be fixed if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, whether it's in this life or the next. Now I look at these verses and I put them in the context of my grandfather's life. He's someone who's had a hard life. He lived a very long time, but he definitely had a hard life, and he had different things that happened to him. He had the loss of a son, he had the loss of his spouse, he lost of many friends because he lived so long. And all of these things brought great suffering to a man who cared so much about people. But how he weathered the storm, how he got through every single one of those issues, was with his faith, because his trust was not in man. His trust was in God. And so when he lost people close to them, the best thing that he relied on was the fact that he knew in his heart that if they were a Christian, he would see them again. And it chokes me up talking about him because I miss him so much, but I am sad because he's not here, and I can't tell him currently, but I am full of joy because one day I will see him again, and I'll be able to tell him about all the wonderful things I experienced on earth when he was in heaven, and he'll be able to tell me about all the wonderful things he's been experiencing in heaven while I've been on earth, and it'll be a great day of rejoicing. So friends, please be encouraged that your trust should not be in man, and if your trust is in the Lord, you've got nothing to fear, because God's got your back. Again, it's not a prosperity gospel. He might not give you riches and wealth and health in this life, but you will be blessed regardless, because you will be content in all things because your trust is in the Lord. So put your trust in the right place today and go and be fruitful, as this passage says. Guys, let me know if you got something else from this verse that I missed. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Also, if there's something that you'd like me to pray for you about, I'm happy to set aside some time to pray for you. You don't need somebody to ever intercede on your behalf, but if you'd like me to pray for you, I believe in the power of prayer, and I'm happy to set aside some time. So also, if you need some prayer, let me know in the comments below. Happy to do that. And Christian friends, please continue to be the salt to the earth. Be the light to the world. Go encourage somebody else today, because the world desperately, desperately needs it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.